So now we're going to go for a nice story.
Oh, wow.
It's a good story.
Oh,
it's involving a certain cemetery goose.
All right. When you said this story, I think it's interesting. I think that and I am guilty of this as well. As good, very good. I think I'm guilty of maybe, you might be, of throwing human emotions onto an animal,
Sure,
of course,
from afar, and not understanding that most of the time these animals' brains are not really complex enough
to
maybe feel these shades of emotion that we might feel that they're thinking.
Goose is very smart.
I like to think of it as Goth Goose gets remarried.
There you go. Goth Goose gets remarried. I love this movie.
Let's read the story from CBS News. There are few things sadder than a love story cut short by tragedy.
9/11.
Yeah, there are a couple of things sadder.
One such story comes out of a cemetery in Marshalltown, Iowa, where employees at a cemetery noticed that a goose, Blossom, was out of sorts after the death of her mate, Bud the goose.
Now, this is the thing. Geese, do they mate for life?
I'm looking up right now.
I believe
beavers
swans do. I think geese might.
Yeah, it says pairs usually stay together for life. Most Canadian geese pair with a mate at age 3.
Yeah, when they're not being fucking domestic terrorists.
Yep. Yes, they are terrible.
They took
animals.
Sully's plane down.
They're terrible. Yeah.
They are constantly trying to mess with our... Yes, of course, humans maybe are not meant to take the sky, but guess what? Our brains allowed us to.
Yeah, and they're huge.
Yeah.
Canadian geese are scary big, dude.
I grew up in goose country.
Geese are scary, dude.
Texas is geese country?
God, yes. Yeah, when they come down from Canada, they come down to Texas. Specifically, my area of Texas, there was just geese everywhere all the time. There used to be these hunters, these rich men from Dallas would come down and sit in a field all morning, the field across the street from the house where I grew up, and every morning I'd be woken up by the peppering of shotgun pellets.
Cool. That's a fun thing to do on a Saturday.
It really is. It makes you who you are.
Yeah, it really does.
So do the geese go down there, move, and then complain about how now there's too much traffic because it used to be this empty place, and now, but they're using the excuse of we're turning it purple. We're gonna make it go purple, where it's just you're just fucking geese.
They are
you
Canadian.
can't vote. You legally can't vote.
They are Canadian. Keep your politics in Canada. You're welcome here in Texas.
Geese are like people, according to opticsmag.com. Do geese mate for life?
Yeah, I see. I remember when Goose are on Pornhub searching all that.
Yeah. Now, geese hook up as much how it is for humans. Some geese prefer soulmate and will bond with each other for life, while others prefer to play the field. In fact, some geese are bonded or still make time to try extra mating on the side with another goose. You just heard it here first. Geese are poly.
All right, there we go. So this goose is missing its loved goose.
Well, Blossom and Bud had lived on the pond in Riverside Cemetery, but after Bud died in August of 2022...
Suicide.
9/11.
Yeah.
Blossom's behavior changed. Of course, the after effects of 9/11, died from the cancers, unfortunately.
Well, I think about it. He was down there in the rubble.
He
was trying to find all the other geese.
Pecking around, honestly, probably pecking at whatever survivors were in there, trying to make sure that they were dead, because geese are terrible to humans.
How many? They are very aggressive unless you give them bread, but apparently you're not supposed to because it's not good for them, but we eat it.
All I know is that geese better start honking at Jon Stewart to get some of these benefits.
How many, I wonder, birds died in 9/11?
How many birds died in 9/11? That's an interesting question.
Some had to.
I would guess 3.
Yeah, maybe 3 or 4 because...
Not many. I mean, think of pigeons.
They hang out.
Think of the pigeons. How many
pigeons are
were down
slow
there?
to move, bro.
Yeah, how many pigeons do you think died in the cloud afterwards? That's, I bet, what killed them.
Well, actually, it's more the opposite. They're saying that 9/11 tribute lights endanger 160,000 birds a year.
Endangered. Now, that's
the lights?
opposite. Kills 160,000 a year.
It says it endangers them.
The lights?
If they veer off their normal migratory flights.
Yeah.
But if we don't have the lights...
our precious memorials.
No shit.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
That's
Another
interesting.
fucking tragedy. Another way we just Americans keep making it hurt.
So the 2 lights that they have in memoriam...
Killing 160,000 birds a year.
Or at least
there
distracting
actually
them.
is a fucking number.
What is it?
One volunteer counted 261 dead migratory birds surrounding the World Trade Center complex on Tuesday morning. Wow, what?
Tuesday morning?
You know what?
What?
Now, I'm
That
actually...
When was it? Tuesday because
Of that.
So like 10 a.m.?
So why did hundreds of birds die at the World Trade Center? Oh no, this is... This has got to be something else. This has to not be... this is just dead birds that were found on the street.
Oh, this is just a person counting every dead bird they see in New York City?
Yeah.
What? Yeah,
All I know
I
is
guess so, man.
we better go back into Iraq and Afghanistan.
We
That's the
better,
fuck- I
man.
didn't realize that.
Oh, we got to, dude.
Well, back to our geese in the cemetery.
Yes.
Blossom and Bud, they lived on the pond together. But then after Bud died, Blossom started spending time near the front office looking at her reflection in glass windows and on model tombstones.
Oh, that's cute.
The general manager, Dory Tamman, said she wanted company.
She does. You got to get her another goose. You got to stud her.
Yeah. So Tamman posted a personal ad for the, quote, lonely widow domestic goose.
Why does that sound creepier than the guy giving candy to a child?
Well, it all is the shit that ties into this week on Side Stories. We cover that Kansas Adoption Center was using the Only Paws thing where they were selling pictures of dogs' feet.
Cats,
toe beads.
dogs' feet.
Pictures of their
they
toe
call them,
beads.
have you heard this term?
Toe beads, yeah, I heard it.
You're already getting the emails we've already received for your lack of acceptance of the term
It's called
toe
a
bean.
paw.
It's just
not
a
a toe bean. It's
Yeah.
a paw.
It's the internet says otherwise, and you better put bacon on your narwhal before you say another fucking thing about toe beans.
Bacon on my narwhal.
Well, she wrote, this woman, in her personal ad, that Blossom wanted a, quote, life partner for companionship and occasional shenanigans.
They have shenanigans.
Every once in a while, just, when there's someone, like, grieving, they have, like, a dead parent or a relative.
They attack a funeral.
Just fucking just fly right in the middle of it. Shenanigans. Cemetery shenanigans.
Is there like a term for why when ducks run it's so scary? Because they're not like super fast, but they are fast enough. Like, why is it so scary when a duck runs?
Because they bite. Because you know that they bite.
But it's also just something with the way that it's just like the movement is just like fucking makes your brain freak out.
Yeah, it's
I
the
get into a
wobbliness.
fetal position if I see ducks.
Really?
We used to run away from ducks and cry.
You should not say that out loud because now we know your true weakness is a flock of ducks.
Yeah, I mean, I said that I fucking was scared of frogs years ago, and what do I get? Fucking frog pictures all the time.
Every day.
You don't get frog pictures. I'll give you a toad picture, but you don't have a problem with toads.
I know. That's the thing. I like frogs. I'm fine with frogs. I hate toads. Toads are what I truly hate.
But that's, again, you've just said your inner weakness.
What's
Yeah.
your
Like
animal
me.
that you get scared
Like,
of?
you know what really scares me and I can't see is
Too
big
many boobs.
natural
Yeah.
MILF
Yeah, I know what
breasts.
you're-
That is like,
Big
I
naturals.
can't stand seeing them.
Yeah, I understand that.
I could see you.
Wow, and I can't, and I will not, you can't send them to me because it just freaks me. It
Really
scares me.
super freaks you out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see you freaking out over a ferret. I could see you versus a ferret and the ferret just completely.
You know what's funny is I have no issues with that style of little animal. Like I that doesn't bother me. I am sometimes a little get nervous around a big dog.
Okay,
I sometimes get nervous, but
Okay.
otherwise only because of one time that.
It's because I don't know. Is it because of your?
Do you want to get cross-bodied?
Whoa! Crossbody.
I'm gonna fucking fly across this room.
All right, big dogs. There it is.
I noticed.
Scared of tits.
Notice about ferrets. Went to Petco here in Los Angeles the other day, and I checked out. I was just sort of walking around, looking at all the different sections, getting food for Georgie, and I noticed that the ferret section here in LA is far larger than the ferret section in the New York Petco.
I didn't know that they had a ferret section.
It's a
Straight
very large section.
I
Really?
am pretty certain that the ferret community of Los Angeles is very large because
Yeah?
I do think that we have a lot of straight up housebound former television personalities.
Right, and they're like
there's
ferrets?
There's something about ferrets and hoarders that are like they touch tips. I know people get we've talked mess on ferret owners before. We know that they are animals. Obviously,
Well, but-
ferret owners love their animals. They take a lot of times.
Yeah.
Good ferret owners take care of it. But
course.
a ferret is also the perfect hoarder animal.
Yeah.
because it just slicks around.
Slithers.
But
Yeah.
do ferrets know when? Do they get along with the people?
Yeah.
Well, I feel
They're
like
skittish, but you
I
gotta.
think they
Yeah,
nip.
okay.
They nip and they piss everywhere.
Yeah.
But they're obviously they're very loving and they're kind of smelly. They get very dirty. You gotta wash them hard.
Okay.
Well, let's get to the wonderful world of geese. Let's get back to geese for a
Yes.
second. Tamman posted a personal ad for the lonely widowed domestic goose, writing that Blossom wanted a life partner, of course, for shenanigans and such.
No, they just
In the
mean
ad-
they just mean fun, right? They don't mean just sex.
No,
right?
no, fun, just fun, In the
Yeah.
ad, Tamman called Blossom youthful, adventurous, and lively. The joke worked better than anyone could have expected. Tamman soon heard from Deb and Randy Hoyt owners of a widower goose named Frankie.
Frankie killed his wife. Frankie says, relax.
So all day long, this couple sits and looking at their goose, and they're like, man, that goose needs to be fucking.
Well,
Why is that goose hanging around here? That's a new single goose. Hey, you should be wasting time, not like us all locked down. My wife of 95 years.
you can see a goose, though. If they're sad, they would hang their big heads real low, and then they're sad, and they'll be sad.
Yeah, and just like Blossom, Frankie was in need of a mate. Deb Hoyt, the owner of Frankie, said, he was so lonely. Randy Hoyt saw
I
the
think
ad.
that this woman might be a little lonely, but that's okay.
Randy Hoyt
Again,
saw
we're
the
putting
ad.
emotions on the animal.
But no, but they do get lonely.
They do.
For sure.
Randy Hoyt saw the ad and said he thought, quote, well, that'll be great.
Perfect.
And the Hoyts and Tammons set up a Valentine's Day blind date for the birds.
This is the thing. So now, all right, all this hype has been built, right? You got one fiended, and you got the other one looking out the window, wondering where everything's gone, and where everyone's going to be.
Where's happiness going to come from in
Where's-
the future?
Sure.
Exactly.
Am I ever going to feel it again?
So, please tell me, for our listeners' sake, that when they got together, it worked out.
No, now the two are spending all their time together at the cemetery and even taking dips in the lake. Blossom welcomed Frankie with open wings. Tammons said they started walking off
Wow.
together and they haven't left each other's sides since.
Well,
Wow.
isn't that fantastic? But the strange thing is, at some point, one of them will be a widow again.